The motorcycle's chassis was twisted, its once-deep obsidian finish now marred by a brutal gouge that tore through its core like a wound too angry to heal. I knelt beside it, my fingertips grazing the jagged scar, not just feeling the damage, but remembering the legacy etched into every bolt and seam. That bike wasn't just metal and machinery. It was a lifeline, a final chapter written by my father's trembling hands. He built it when his own body had begun to betray him, the shake in his fingers calmed only by the quiet devotion he held for me. It was the last thing we built together, the last creation his hands shaped before he left this world. That bike was never just a machine. It was memory. It was love. It was the final whisper of a man who'd survived a war, but never fully returned from it. That morning, the sunlight filtered in soft and golden, as if the world had the audacity to remain beautiful despite everything. Birds chirped. The breeze stirred gently through the open garage. And then Greg stepped into the light, bare-chested, clutching a coffee mug, his smirk cutting to the calm like a razor. "Just a bike," he scoffed, eyes gleaming with smug satisfaction. "Looks like it's seen better days." I didn't respond. I didn't give him the satisfaction of anger or defense. I simply stood, brushed the dust from my jeans, and walked away. He laughed, misreading my silence the way men like him always do, confusing quiet for weakness, solitude for surrender. But he didn't know where that silence came from. He didn't know the story buried beneath the chrome and steel. He hadn't lived through the nights of aching doubt, the months of cold realization. Let me take you back. Lena, my ex-wife, she once traced the edges of my jaw like she was memorizing them, whispering that I was the only man who ever made her feel truly safe. We'd ride that motorcycle together, her arms wrapped tightly around my waist, the wind screaming past us like we could outrun all the things we never dared to name, our fears, our flaws, our future. But even safety can rot from the inside. I saw the change in her long before I saw the truth. Her eyes no longer held wonder. Her touch became obligatory. I tried to convince myself it was just the weight of time, the erosion of routine. But lies have a scent. They stick to your clothes. They crawl into your bed. Her phone gave her away, left carelessly on the kitchen counter, buzzing with a message from Greg. I only read a single line. That was enough. The photos followed. Him, her, smiling like villains in a story they thought I was too blind to read. They'd planned it all. I was just the slow-witted fool in the way. But I wasn't blind. I was just hoping. I chose to look the other way because I still wanted to believe in her more than I trusted my own instincts. After the divorce, I disappeared. Not into bottles or shouting matches, but into the quiet sanctuary of my father's old workshop. I lived there for 6 months, surrounded by rusted tools, fading oil stains, and memories that clung to the walls like dust. I didn't speak much. I didn't need to. I worked. I stripped the bike to its skeleton. Piece by piece, I rebuilt it, not just to restore it, but to restore me. Every bolt tightened was a breath taken. Every weld was a line drawn between who I'd been and who I was becoming. In that space, where silence hummed louder than grief, I remembered what truth felt like. Cold metal, honest effort, hands steady with purpose. So when Greg parked his oversized pickup too close to the garage, pretending it was an accident, and knocked the bike over, his laugh spilling out like a bad joke, I felt something stir in me. Not rage, not violence. Something deeper, more ancient. He didn't understand. That crash wasn't just noise. It was a violation, a desecration of everything I had salvaged from ruin. But I didn't raise my voice. I didn't clench my fists. I simply stood, dusted off my palms, walked back inside. His laughter echoed behind me, triumphant and hollow. He thought he'd won. He didn't realize that silence can be armor. That calm can be more dangerous than fury. In the days that followed, I returned to the bike. The gash was ugly, deep, but not beyond repair. I sanded it smooth, welded the crack, repainted its body with the same care my father once taught me. My hands didn't tremble. Not anymore. They remembered the rhythm of creation. They knew the patience of healing. As the machine came back to life, so did something inside me. The engine purred with a low, steady thrum. like a heartbeat I could finally trust. I didn't rebuild it for Greg or for Lena. I did it for myself, to reclaim something they never truly understood. They had each other, sure, their secret laughs, their cheap thrills. But I had something more, something enduring. One evening, just as the sun sank into the horizon, I wheeled the bike out of the garage. Its obsidian skin gleamed again, smoother, stronger. I climbed on, kicked it to life, and let the hum of the engine guide me forward. The road stretched ahead, long and open. I didn't ride to escape. I rode to remember, to reclaim the man I'd been before betrayal, before loss. To hear my father's voice again, not in memory, but in every turn of the wheel. Greg and Lena could keep their games, their shallow victories. I didn't need revenge. I had something better. I had the road. I had the wind. I had the machine my father and I built with our bare hands. And more than anything, I had myself. Stronger, quieter, unbreakable.